I just put us on the air.
Okay.
So we've got about 23 callers on now.
Okay, well, hopefully everybody had a chance to listen to that audio last night and get an understanding and possibly even go back and listen to a few of the other audios that we've been trying to put together here in this process. The final outcome so far is that we are, in America, we have to claim admiralty, okay? You don't claim sovereignty. Sovereignty is for an individual that's living on a mountain all by himself, okay? That's what sovereignty is all about, that you're all by yourself and you're not interfacing in commerce, okay? And everybody has to interface in commerce out here. You don't have to interface in commercial commerce, but you have to interface in commerce. So the people out here that are trying to say, well, I'm not going to interface in commerce, they're dead wrong, okay? They might as well just go and be that sovereign living on the mountain over there in the Himalayas or something, because that's not what the truth is, okay? In America, admiralty is where you are dealing in commerce. You're trading back and forth, okay? And that we were supposed to be dealing in just commerce, in just admiralty. But they brought in this postal world, admiralty, into this country. And that's what they've got everybody misled about. People think they know all about the money system in this country, and they have no idea what real money is, okay? 90% of stuff that's out here is all debt money that's being traded back and forth, okay? And, I mean, you go around just trying, today I tried to get 2 EINs from 2 different individuals, and both of them were sort of smaller organizations, and, oh, I can't give that out to you. I'm going to lose something. They don't even realize that those EINs are nothing but transmitting utility numbers. They have no money in them, okay? There is no money in an EIN, okay? It's just a direction, like a switch on the railroad line, okay, to direct the flow where you want it to go. The money is in the account or in the depot at the end of the line, or at the main train station, sending the funds out.
Anybody still on?
I am.
I don't hear Patrick.
Like we just lost somebody.
Now we're not hearing anybody. Are you hearing me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, we lost Patrick or Tom. And Tom, are you there?
Did the moderator leave? Not on there? It
seems like Tom and Patrick, or at least they can't hear us, or we can't hear them.
How long do you think we should wait before call in again?
Just wait. Just stand by. We're on the phone.
Okay.
We're on the phone. They're on Skype or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So we can hear them when they come back in. Okay.
It's not too easy to get on the internet. Hi, Marshall. It's Steve. It's not too easy to get to access that call on the internet.
Oh.
call on the phone.
Yeah, that's what I did too. I think everybody's on now is on the phone, correctly? Correct?
I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then we know this is working. So I don't know how they
we lost Pat for the sentence there.
Yeah, I know. It just dropped off the globe here. So hopefully they will come call back in and the recording will pick up from there, I suppose. This is still going. But if it's going, it's not picking up nothing.
Well, maybe picking up us right now.
Yeah, well, at least we're talking, and anybody that's listening, they'd probably get edited out, I suppose.
No, the recording is on. Once I started, it stays on.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay. Well, that's
so
what
he dropped out. I had to go in the other room briefly, so I didn't hear what happened.
Oh.
Well, we lost Patrick in the middle of a sentence.
Well, didn't Patrick call in, or he called in on the computer?
Yeah, he calls in on the phone. Maybe a battery problem.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's it. Something small.
All right.
Hopefully he figures it out and get back in here. So.
If you guys listen to Ed Snowden, they have all kinds of tricks they can do to stymie your call.
Yeah. At least somebody is keeping up with what's happening globally, because he's a real hero in a lot of people's eyes because of what he's done. He's real informative to give us all that information he gathered.
Yeah, I watched an interview with his attorney, Jacqueline Radick.
Yeah.
Jacelyn Radick, yeah.
Does Snowden, do you know if he knows about that passport where he can get the American national, non-citizen American national passport? Because he wouldn't need to be controlled by the U.S. Citizens, how they was doing it. That's only to the U.S., though. Do you know if he knows that info?
His passport got canceled by the U.S.
That's what I'm saying, but he's allowed to have any passport he wants to if he's a bona fide national, correct? From any country.
Well, they want to kill him.
Pardon?
He has to be careful about his travels because there's people that want him dead.
Yeah, I suppose so, but by law is saying a national, unless you violate treaty law or something, and if you're a national, that gives you the opportunity to be of any passport you want to have because you're a national. You're not held to the U.S. corporations as a U.S. citizen, the way I understand it. Do you know if he knows that or what?
Yeah, his lawyers went to go see him, including he got an award for, having his bravery to do what he did.
Yeah.
They gave him an award, but he met with Jacelyn Radick and Thomas Drake, who's a former whistleblower himself. He's all clued in on what's going on. Russia's the best place he could be right now.
Oh, okay. Because under international law and treaty law, we all nationals. That's why we have expatriation. One day before the 14th Amendment passed, they had to give us that. And that's where all that comes in, to know who the hell you are. Difference in a citizen, U.S. citizen, and an American national. Because this is our country.
Sure his lawyer can tell him what to do, but it doesn't matter if you're dead right,
Yeah, well, you got a point there. Everything is you have to look at the whole picture, and that's the whole thing of it. And
there's a lot more information that's supposed to come out that he has, or journalists that's in the hand of other journalists that can release it when it's timely or whatever. But probably only 1% of the information has come out.
Wow. That's a hell of a big iceberg. That's what this all is.
Yeah, so
you only
it's
see
better that he just stays over there for now.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people. Doesn't matter what the law is meant to be broken, or like that's what Satan does, is control people with the law. You think you can get remedy or something, but you end up being dead.
Yeah, that's an operative modem to how they operate on that on the evil side. That's and it's been thousands of years old. I mean, we have to learn something about the history and whatnot of the whole paradigm. We got to outsmart them. It's not because that's just the way it is.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Hey, can you answer me a question real quick on the? I was listening to these calls and I'm still having trouble.
Right.
Figuring out these forms, which ones they're filling out for the signature.
Yeah, I didn't understand that as a question.
You got to speak up, guy. I can barely hear you.
The forms for the signature page for the Federal Reserve Bank.
Is this Tim trying to ask the question?
Yes.
Okay, you're either too loud or too soft. You have to find something in the middle.
Okay.
That's better.
Thank you, sir. Now, did you understand the question?
Move your mic a little further away and then speak up just a little bit.
Well, I'll have to get on. Let me get on the headset. Hold on.
Okay, that's not working, Tim.
We can't hear you. So I tried to go to freeconferencingcall.com, and then when you type in your group number, your phone, they say, oh, that doesn't exist. We can't find that number.
What do you mean, when you try to do the flash phone?
freeconferencing.com, when I go there.
Yeah. And then do what?
Okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to do it again. I'll tell you what.
Now, Gina's trying to call Patrick.
Login. I click on participant login. Okay, I click on participant login on the top. A window opens that says the meeting ID is 559-726-1200, blah, blah, blah. So you log in, and then another window opens. Your meeting will begin shortly, it says. So it doesn't even have it.
Well, then you have to be using the active code 111106.
Yeah, I know, but there's no place to put that in yet, and it says your meeting will begin shortly.
If you're on the
I'm on the call. I'm on a telephone. If you try to access it by the computer, you can't get through. Just letting you know.
Well, others are doing it.
I didn't hear what you said.
Well, others are calling in.
Well, we're calling in on the phone. I'm talking about if you wanted to do it on the computer.
That's on the computer, the flash phone.
There are a number of them doing it on the computer, right?
Yeah, so after you do participant login, what do you do next?
I'm on the.
And it gives you a spot on there.
Who is that?
Code.
With all that static.
Tim, we simply can't understand you. Your phone is either too soft or too loud. There's nothing in between.
Oh, he's on a speaker.
No, I'm on.
Sounds like your mic is broken, like you dropped it on the ground. Every time you talk, it crackles.
It's a brand new MacBook.
You're too close to your mouth is too close to the mic.
Hey, Steve.
Still.
That was Dave. That was Dave having the same problem.
Yeah.
No, he's going down to the phone function in the bottom right-hand corner when he gets to free conferencing.
On the bottom right, it says use our flash phone.
Yeah.
That's cell phone. screen sharing? What do you do? What do you click on? I was going to click on
No, use our
log
flash.
in.
Use our. It's on the bottom right. Use our flash phone. Then learn more. You have to press learn more.
Okay.
Okay, Tom, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. The question was with the forms for the FRB signage page. How are they listed in the e-concurrent?
I didn't understand that.
Said how are the forms listed, or what are they called?
Which forms?
For the signage page.
I don't understand what you're asking.
For the signage page.
What's a signage page?
The signature
On what
page.
document? On what document? Every document is a signature.
The FRB, Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah.
The signature page. Is there a form, an exact number that it is? Because I don't. When I'm listening to the calls, I don't ever hear it specifically stated, so I don't know which form to go to for that specific task.
Hey, Tom, this is Gita. He might be talking about the appendix to the appendix.
Yes, you're talking about Appendix 1 or Attachment P. Federal Reserve is for OC1, FRB for Federal Reserve Bank, OC1 for Operating Circular 1, and Attachment 1 for the master account, and Attachment B for your sub-accounts, the EIN numbers.
Thank you.
Yeah, the questions have to be much more specific, though.
So, Tom, was that three different documents?
No, that was 2 documents. Their operating circular is there. It's about 18 pages. But this is an attachment and an appendix to the operating circular.
Gotcha.
And you should read the operating circular also.
Yeah, I'll get around to doing that.
Because all the definitions of what they're doing in those forms.
Right.
Hey, Thomas, the ABA is the routing number, right? The master routing number?
No, but the abbreviation ABA is...
ABA stands for American Banking Association, and what they're asking for, because remember, normally banks are the ones who sign up here. And normally they give their routing number. But I don't have my notes in front of me, but I believe for the Federal Reserve account, we're using our lifeboat number.
Yes, that is the master number. The number on the back of the Social Security is the master ABA for the Federal Reserve.
Okay. Gita, were you able to talk to Patrick?
No, I didn't call him or anything. I'm just going to work on the money order that the officer sent, and I'm just going to work on that, and I'll just send a cover sheet with that and send it in to the treasury.
Okay. Well, if I pull up my other computer, I can try to call Patrick on the other computer.
I'll give him a call. I'll call him.
He probably can't get on.
Yeah. Well, we need to know whether he's having a phone problem or it's a free conferencing problem. You're saying he can't dial into the 1200 number?
I don't know.
I got right in, Tom.
Yeah.
I had to dial about 4 times to get in.
What happened?
My phone keeps cutting off, which is odd. It never did before.
Oh, there could be something with the connections. Maybe free conferencing is getting swamped with calls because we're certainly not the only meeting going on free conferencing.
Yeah. I'm going to tie you into the conference call because we're having problems with everybody getting in. So you're on the conference call right now. Go ahead.
Okay, did I just get dropped off? Was I on the conference call?
I don't know, but people are having problems. But you're tied in now. I'm tying in through my phone.
Okay, who's tying Patrick in?
Chris.
Okay, and your name is OK? You when you signed in, you said OK?
Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah, because you're actually very distorted on this phone.
Oh, is that right?
Call back in. I'm calling back into the other line.
Okay. No, I can call Patrick. I can call Patrick on Skype if that's I can do that real easy.
He doesn't have internet. He doesn't have internet.
Oh well, I can call him on his phone.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You want me to do that, Patrick?
He already dropped off.
Okay.
Patrick has a computer. He's got Skype now.
No, he's calling in with his mobile.
Oh, okay.
But on my Skype, I can call phones, so I could call him and add him to the group.
Okay, Tom, this is Pat. I'm back on.
Yeah, nice and clear. Thank you.
Okay. Did you hear me talking before?
I had to drop out and to go to the other room briefly, so I was away for about 2 minutes, and when I came back, you were
I mean about 3 or 4 minutes ago. Was I on the line?
No.
You dropped off.
Oh, just a few minutes ago, like 2 minutes ago. Yes, we heard you briefly, but you were coming
that was
Chris.
on Chris. Okay,
yeah,
but when I started talking. Okay, right now the show's been running for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Did I say anything on that call, or did I get cut off? Whatever.
No, you had about 5 or 10 minutes on the call.
And then basically it was cut off, huh?
Yeah, then it was cut off.
Right when you get to the good stuff.
You were talking about.
I'm just about ready to pack this whole damn thing in. Okay. This is too damn aggravating. Okay.
Okay.
I get tired of talking to myself most of the time.
Well, we're here.
Okay. Let me talk. Okay. I've been trying to help you people get the understanding. I've been putting templates out here, putting Word documents out to get you to go and look at the definitions for about 4 or 5 years now, trying to do all the legwork in most cases for getting this understanding of what's going on here. I've been to almost every court out here except the one court that basically we were led away from by the patriot community out here in this country, the good old patriot community. Basically the deceivers in this whole damn thing of trying to save the country. They think they're trying to save the country, but basically they're not. They don't understand the country and how the country is supposed to be functioning. Okay? And that was that we were supposed to be in Admiralty. Okay? Carte blanche. Not sovereignty, Admiralty. Now, I posted money orders up there, had Tom post them up yesterday, to go to the Treasury Department. You utilize the routing number, which is your Social Security number. You use your registration number, which is your certificate of live birth, for those money orders that go to the Treasury Department. You make the money order out to pay to the order of the United States Treasury. They take the money and put it in their United States Treasury warehouse. Then they send a check out from there, a claim check, to the person that you want a claim check sent to. It's on the back of the money order. Look at them. All the information is right there. Even the code, even the statute that says that we're supposed to be using money orders. From Volume 17 of the Statutes at Large, Chapter 335. Read the thing. It's 48 pages in length. You might learn something. Okay? You make the money order out. You need to have their EIN. Now, most of these nitwits out here in this commercial world, they're scared to death to give you the EIN. But I've got it from banks. I've got it from major companies. You can find most EINs online. But some of these little mom and pop places are scared shitless because their accountants or their CPAs are telling them, oh, you can't give that out. And see, these CPAs, educated idiots coming out of college that don't know accounting whatsoever, are telling these guys and misguiding these people out here, throwing more shit in the game. Because that EIN is nothing but a routing number. It has no money in it. You can't get money just by a routing number. But these people down here, so educated, basically they know it all. So that is the story about the money orders at the Treasury Department. Now, the other alternative is the postal money system, and they took that away from the post office in 1966 and moved it over to the Federal Reserve banks, taking our savings, postal savings accounts, and moving them over to the Federal Reserve banking system. The Federal Reserve wasn't happy enough to just put liens on the labor of the people working at the manufacturing plants. They wanted access to all the people that were under a Social Security number. So they got good old LBJ to basically terminate the postal monetary system, banking system, and move it over to the Federal Reserve banking system. So they got greater access. And then they could try and put taxes and everything upon the people. Fraudulent taxes. You pay for something out of a treasury with a money order, you turn around and you can do an OID back for that same amount back to whoever you made that payment to, because that coming out of a treasury was a discounted payment because it's using Federal Reserve dollars. You're not going to get the full value out of that, but you're going to get some compensation back, and that should help bring down the inflation. It will also bring down the national debt. In any court scenario out here, we go in as the president judge. Look it up in the dictionary. You go in and you go into court in Admiralty. If you're not in Admiralty, you get the venue changed to Admiralty. If you don't know this much, try and get somebody else to come in there and help you. Get a representative, someone who's over the age of 25 that knows a little something about Admiralty. And I'm not talking about an attorney. I'm talking about somebody else that might be able to help you. But you need to, and it's not that hard, okay? In court, if you come in as the judge, especially as the president judge, you do not use forms. You write orders. And that goes all the way back to one of the first statutes, acts that they wrote about the judiciary after they wrote the Constitution. And that basically, into any court scenario, the court had to accept anything in any form. Chicken scratching would have been acceptable. Now you can see that basically if the people, we the people are the president, the American Admiralty presidents in this country, permanent residents, or presidents, okay, then principal residence, however you want to look at it. That's all that a president is the principal residence in the White House. That's what a president is. He's the principal resident. Of course, right now he's pretty much of an idiot. But that's all that is, that you are the principal resident as the president. And see, some cases you have to use the words that make these people move. And the word that makes these people move is president judge. Because that's what's found in their law dictionaries. So you put an order in, you take all your, and you can put an order into the clerk of the court for your local district, state district court. Take your driver's license, take your certificate of title to the vehicle, take your voter registration card, take a copy of your certificate of live birth, take your fishing license, take your marriage license, take all your damn state documents and submit them into that court. You're as the president judge, and you order that clerk of the court to hand these over to the administrative judge, and you are assigning that administrative judge to be the executor to bring settlement for those items, for those insurance policies, because most all of them are a surety or insurance policy, and they have funds behind them. And you order them to turn over the funds to you as the presiding or the principal or the president judge. That's where they're supposed to go. You have traffic tickets that basically had bond of appearances on them. You come in and you order those bond of appearances to be handed over before this court goes any further. So you have to get that court into Admiralty. You also have the power as the president judge to terminate any trade agreements out here. And basically all those licenses and everything with the state are trade agreements. You have given your signature as a trade agreement for an insurance policy. And the state basically has reneged on all of their obligations in 90% of this stuff. Okay? So you've got to look at what's really going on behind the scene. Okay? I've knocked at almost every damn door up in the state capitol. I've hit just about every place out in D.C. In fact, one of the key places out in D.C. was we went to the D.C. District Bankruptcy Court. And they had a training session on their website to where you could go in and run through their modules and learn how these lawyers and everything are going in and writing charges off against your accounts. But most people wouldn't see it that way, but basically several of us did when we went into that site in that training session, and we went through it. But we knew that because basically we'd also been beating the bankruptcy court around every which way possible. Until you really start getting in there and throwing your punches, you're not in the boxing match, okay? You're just outside the ring. You're just a spectator. And that's what too many of you people really are, is just spectators sitting on the outside waiting for somebody else to win the boxing match so you can go home and feel good. You've got to get in there. You've got to fight for what you want. Okay? Now, like I said, if you do it at the state level, district court, and basically some states have different terms, but basically the states were not to be in admiralty. But in 1938 or 39, all the states were put into admiralty, the state courts. And the states are basically operating under as a separate corporate country. So they're not in violation of what the Constitution says. They just realign themselves, okay, in their system and in their communist setup, which was brought in under Woodrow Wilson and enforced under Roosevelt. We've had three different sets of government in under the Constitution, under the charters. The first one was a charter that was a non-for-profit government. That lasted until 1872. 1872 set up the for-profit charter government as the East India's United States Corporation, because it's copyrighted out of London, England. That one lasted until Woodrow Wilson and Roosevelt brought in the socialist, communist government regime that is in place today. That is not the government of the people. That is the government of the corporation. Okay? You do not have to operate with the government. You owe no allegiance to the government. You owe an allegiance to the nation. The flag is the corporation. That red, white, and blue is just a fictional flag. Our flag is the snake, coiled snake, that underneath it says, "Don't tread on me." And that one goes all the way back to Adam and Eve in the Bible, to where the snake was cast out of a tree and put under the foot of man. And then they started crawling down in their little holes, hiding from man. But they keep popping up every once in a while. We just need to keep popping them down. And we haven't done a too good a job. We let them come back out. Now, a lot of this stuff was played out in the Pirates of the Caribbean, showing you exactly what's going on. The Black Pearl, during the daytime, was a dead man's ship, all skeletons. At nighttime, basically, in the darkness, they appeared to have their full bodies back. They were operating under a curse, the curse of Cortez's gold, or the imaginary gold pot. And basically that is the Social Security system, the insurance system, the imaginary Cortez's gold. Oh, you're going to be protected. Yeah, and it basically is killing you all the time, controlling you, depriving you of your real assets to go out and move forward. And see, old Jack Sparrow in the movie, he just kept wanting to go back into the system. But yet, the
Doug
guy in the smithy, okay, that made the sword, and the woman, basically, they were out there in the living world, okay? They wanted the real thing. These movies and everything have been telling us a lot of stuff, a hell of a lot more than most of these gurus out here have ever been telling you anything. Now, I'm going to touch on a couple things here in a court case. Probate, okay? Your father or your mother dies, okay? If the father dies, basically, and the mother is still alive, and you have, like, 3 children, one son and 2 daughters. The son happens to be the youngest one in the family, but he's the number 1 son, okay? So, you can go in and basically, in that case, go in as the president judge and probate that death certificate with the treasury. You go into the federal district court, take that in. As the president judge, you would fire all executive attorneys out of the situation. I don't know how many of you people have ever looked at the Form 56 and the 56F. In a lot of cases, they have right on there asking you questions about the executor, or basically whether this is coming from a court order. Well, it's supposed to be your court order, your presidential court order to assign the executor or whoever, or the fiduciary in the situation. And see, now we're starting to see this. All these pieces are starting to come into play. So you set that up. Now, in a settlement for the Old Testament, the wife of the dead husband would get 1/3 in the settlement of the estate settlement. The children would get the rest. Now, the number 1 son would get dual shares. He would get twice the amount, the shares of the other. So you would have to add, there was 3 children, 2 daughters, and 1 son. Then basically it would be 4 shares going into that final 2/3 that's left over. Now, if one of the daughters dies, that share does not go over to the other siblings, especially if she's got children.
Sorry.
Her share would be divided up amongst her siblings. So you just need, and this is basically the strip of the estate stripping in the process of doing a probate of an estate. And then in a divorce, basically, like I said before, that you have the state marriage certificate and nobody is picking up that insurance policy. You're leaving it lie there, and the state and the money changers in the background are just laughing their butts off, basically, for walking away from an insurance policy. Same thing with driver's license. Same thing with certificates of title to the vehicle. Those certificates have the full value for that car, the original price of that car. I said for a couple of years now that basically if you took that certificate, now we know where to take it. We take it to the state district court, and we come as the president judge, and we order that BAR judge, okay, broker authorized representative or bank authorized representative, however you want to look at it, administrative judge to basically broker that damn certificate and give you, the president judge, the proceeds of it. If not, you can issue a presidential warrant for their arrest, because you do this in open court as the president judge, and that administrative judge refuses to comply with your orders, they have just committed an act of treason in open court. You don't need the 2 witnesses. You're in open court. then you can issue a arrest warrant to the sheriff, to the U.S. Marshals, and if need be, to the Secret Service, and also you would inform the CID in that they are basically doing racketeering in the process. That's what I addressed in the letter that I had Tom post up today. You've got the power. Now, you're the president. Utilize it. Now, the other banking system in this country is the Federal Reserve banking system. You have a master postal account routing number, and that is the numbers on the back of your Social Security card. And that goes on to Appendix 1 of the Federal Reserve Circular 1 forms. You have to get a signature card on file with them before you can activate that routing number. Then you, let's see, that's got a letter in it, okay? So now to utilize their banking system, you have to establish an EIN for the estate or whatever, foreign grantor trust or just a regular EIN. But you have to attach that to that master EIN, and that is done by Appendix D. You fill out Section 1, 2, 3, and then you sign that this is attached to your master account in Section 4. And you would have to do that for each different EIN that you want attached to that master routing number on the back of the Social Security card. Now, if you go and get a new Social Security card, you're going to have to do it all over again because you just closed down that old master routing number, and now you have a new routing number with because it's a new number on the back of the Social Security card. It's that simple. Then you can do your postal money orders using the routing numbers that you have assigned there, and you would also need to have a postal account. The postal banking account is your passport number, because that passport is basically a postal passbook savings account. It's a 9-digit number. Okay? And see, that's where we were supposed to be in the postal banking system. Okay? So that's that passport. Okay? I tried to get rid of my passport twice, and they keep sending it back to me because it's got value attached to it. That 9-digit number is the postal savings account that's sitting there. Now, since we're operating in the postal mail system out here, you also have a permit as underneath that passport to either utilize the routing number that's on the back of the Social Security card or your Social Security card as your permit number to do first-class mailing, just like the IRS, just like half these other corporations out here. You make up a little stamp that says first-class mailing, postage and fees prepaid, permit number, and you write the number in there, either your routing number on the back of the Social Security card or your passport number. And then you mail your stuff. You want to do a certificate of mailing? The post office has a little form, just a little piece of paper. You can make as many copies of that as you want. You can be the one to do the certificate of mailing. They want $1.30 at the post office to do it for you, but you can take it at home and do a 1 or 2 cent stamp on that, and then you sign that you sent that out today. You put a certificate of mailing number at the top of that little card, and you put it at the bottom right-hand corner of your letter. Certificate of mailing. Number, blah, blah, blah. Now, I just saved you a whole bunch in mailing. Don't use the certified mailing. Don't use the registered mailing. It's not going to accomplish you anything. And basically, all of those are trademarked by the Postal Union. And you don't have really permission to use their trademarks. And they're just going to fleece you for another $10, $20 and not really give you anything. You don't need it. Okay? The mail must go through, so it's going to go through whether it's maybe a day later or something like that. You're not going to accomplish that much more by trying to get it overnight expressed at $20 a whack. It's just like going out and playing blackjack, and you're taking the insurance on whether the dealer's got a blackjack or not. It's a losing proposition in the long run. Okay? So all of this stuff out here is basically, most of it's all up on the group site there. Tom's got 2 different, has been posting it into the We the People _shareholders, and then also over onto his link, and then also Sovereign Warriors. Gino, I think, over there has been posting a lot of these documents over on his site. So I have no problem with any of this. I haven't got any of this stuff patented. I'm not that type of an asshole like most of these other guys out here, like David Wynn Miller and his copyrighted bullshit. So basically, somebody that comes along like that and all of a sudden throws something completely different in the picture, you better beware that something is totally amiss. Especially when he sides with a guy by the name of Bill Clinton. What a shithead that guy was. So, okay. I'm going to leave it here for right now. I think I've covered a lot of stuff here. Go ahead and start asking questions.
That's it.
Yeah. I have a quick question.
How do you utilize the process?
You've got to speak clearly. You've got to speak clearly. Get the shit out of your mouth.
Okay, how do you use the process without your passport number?
You can go to the Treasury using your Social Security number and the certificate of live birth number. Okay? Get the funds out of the Treasury, and then you can get your passport, okay? And then you can close the other down. Or basically when you fully understand and look at that document, you can do the same thing that I had there for the state court into the federal court and terminate those trade agreements with the federal government for your Social Security and the certificate of live birth, and claim your citizenship, your American citizenship back under the Expatriation Act.
Understand.
Okay.
So with the Treasury money order, that does not require us to do the master account agreement at the Federal Reserve Bank, correct?
Right. That's 2 different systems.
All right. I just wanted to clarify because that was a question that came up on Skype as to whether or not that was a requirement to utilize this the Treasury money order you have posted up here.
No, see, you've already got a signature card on file with the Treasury to utilize the Social Security number.
Right.
You got your Social Security card. You had to sign another card giving them your signature. So they have your signature card on file for the Social Security number. They do not have a signature card for the number on the back side of the Social Security card.
Yes, okay.
Okay?
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's scary,
That's pretty much all I needed to clarify. One more thing on the call last night, you were talking about how we are not to be the executor.
That's right.
We're supposed to assign the administrative court judge or the Secretary of Treasury to go ahead and carry out the process.
You make them the executor. You are the executive officer or the president. You don't get your hands dirty, okay? You don't have the accounts at your hands.
Yes. These assignments can be done by word of mouth or by written document, correct?
Yeah, you basically chicken scratching will work.
Okay. And I was also curious as to, because when we did our SS4 forms, do you think we should do an update with that to assign
no,
the
if you got the EIN, that's your EIN right now, okay?
Okay.
You don't need to go any further back, and you can terminate all those when you get the understanding of shutting this all down.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, going to the court to have assigning them as the executor to go ahead and administrate that and turn over the proceeds of that citizenship to you, I mean, that makes clear sense.
But you need to listen to the calls a couple more times and get the full understanding. And if need be, go back to the ones last Thursday or even last weekend.
All right, then. Okay. Thank you, Patrick.
Okay. Next. Did I do scare you guys all off?
No, we're still here.
There's like 35 heads when I called in, so.
Well, everybody must know all the answers then.
No, I'm having dinner, so I don't want to talk yet.
Okay.
But we're just still swimming here, Patrick. We're listening and writing our notes.
Well, I'm done talking for the night. I'm just there to answer questions now. If you've got anything that you came across from last night's call or in your listening today, if you listen with an open mind. Otherwise, go back and listen to the thing again with an open mind, and maybe you'll pick up the answer right in that.
Do you think that the Admiralty will always be there, or what? Like, they're just perpetuating?
It will be there if you claim it.
Yeah.
You have to do. They're not going to put Admiralty out there for you.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want you in Admiralty. Okay? Because then you're in control if you know what you're doing. And they do not want you in control. That's their game. I mean, how many movies have you seen out there about the control? Orson Orwell's 1984. They want to control you. Basically, all the different movies that have been out here pretty much along the same lines, that they want to control you. The movie B, okay, that was out there.
Yeah.
Until the people took off their mask and started standing up, then they started seeing the light. And all the sparklers and everything else that were going off.
I don't know if this is a Patriot thing, but Isn't that flag that stands up in the courtroom with the yellow fringes an Admiralty flag? Or a maritime law flag?
That's a charter organization flag.
Okay.
It's actually
red, white, and blue. It's red, white, and blue, and basically the charter colors for the East India Company back in the 1600s was red, white, and blue. See, it's just a charter. I mean, it makes no damn sense, the bullshit about that whole damn flag of 13 stripes and all the different items out there. Basically, they haven't even got the right number of stars on there right now because there's supposed to be 51 on there. That other country, basically the charter organization country of Washington, D.C., that's a state unto itself. So that flag is a total fraud. But it's a charter, just like the Pilgrims were misled in all. They weren't free. They were under a friendship organization, a charter organization. Yeah, the movie Interstate 60 has a whole bunch of that stuff in there, in that movie when you really sit down and analyze it. Look at what the degree that the attorney has hanging on the wall. Stop the film and read what it says, and then go and look up the words that are on that degree. It might open up your mind a little to what's going on.
Yeah, and we'll look up the definitions of admiralty and president judge, too.
Yeah. And also look up that other definition in Black's Law about probate, divorce, and admiralty. And right there it talks about the president judge. That you have to be able to read between the lines, and that's what why we're in this situation, because most of these people out here have never been able to read between the lines. And they start running off in one direction, and they totally go down the wrong path. Okay. Next question.
Patrick, Nancy Mara has her friend with eviction problem. Could you run through how to use your current terminating the trade agreements to deal with that problem?
You just take that document that I had there, and basically you write that in there, and you order that judge that you're coming in and you're probating that, and order that judge to adjudicate that matter, that you own the house, okay? The thing is, you have to know that basically it was your funds that you granted the bank to begin with.
Yes.
And the bankers are trying to come in there and claim fraud. The house was fully paid for at the end of 3 years. I told you that before. You can prove that by going in and reading the definitions about the comptroller of the currency, or comptroller of currency. Basically, that all bonds have to be taken off the books at the end of 3 years. So basically, they wrote the amount of bonds to cover the payment for that house in 3 years' time. Now, all the other contracts that you have signed are basically under fraud, under deception.
I understand that.
You hold the title to the house, okay? And that title is what holds the money that is accrued for that house, property taxes, everything. Do not surrender that. Just like when you sell a vehicle, do not surrender the certificate of title. Give them a bill of sale. You cash that certificate of title in. You may be able to pay for the new vehicle, again, from that certificate of title, depending on what you got from the old title. Especially if you had a Mercedes-Benz and now you're trading down to a little Yugo or something. You'll probably buy 3 or 4 of them. I can't tell you everything, Tom, okay? People are going to have to fight and learn this stuff themselves, okay? Because if they don't know this, when they go into court, okay, they're going to screw it up. And they talk too damn much in court. You just give an executive order to them to basically process this and settle the matter and give you the house. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, I hear you, Patrick. Thank you.
Okay. Just sort of look at that little document that I threw up there. It's that simple.
Yep.
And see, we don't use any forms or anything like that because we're the president. Okay, any other questions?
Patrick, this is Nancy. I have just a question to close the loop because, I study different things, and I feel like I'm always trying to learn in present time and then go backwards to hear calls and documents. And so in terms of just closing the loop on the passport and the U.S. national, since we don't talk about it anymore, I'm assuming it's a moot point and we don't really need to become a U.S. national. But that's
right.
My assumption.
Yeah, drop that whole thing about the U.S. national. That was total misunderstanding of what that is. See, when we come out of the system, we're going to get a presidential executive American wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, passport that basically will be superseded over all others out here, okay? We don't know what it's like because, we really haven't seen anybody that has one, okay? So we're just speculating, and basically that it gets a lot of people into trouble, is their speculation. We'll just wait until it comes, okay? But you can get the passport right now, and that just puts you into their postal system to have that account. But if you've got a good understanding of what this is all about, and you know how to handle your money properly, and the other side, when you do come out to where you're not using the commercial lawyers and bankers and everything else, then I'd say you don't even need to worry about it. Just go for getting out of the system. But you better have that understanding, or else those leeches are going to be all over you when you get out.
Right.
Hey, Patrick, it's Keita. They actually sent back my passport, when I sent it out to the national stuff. Yeah, I got it today in the mail. They sent it back. They sent back all the pictures. They sent back a new form of the DS, I think it is 11. DS-11
telling you to fill out a new form because the other one's expired, okay? But it's not expired, okay?
Right.
It's not expired because it's still valid, okay? It can still be validly used for identification. It still has value to it. The only thing it can't be used is for international travel. That's the only thing that expired was your right to use it as international travel document.
Yeah, the letter state that they said the original one that I sent in had all the information that I requested. So if I want to do it over, it's my choice, basically.
Yeah,
but I have
we're
to
not
fill it
going to
out
do it
the
over.
right way. No. I have it for another 4 years. I think 10 years or whatever. I just wanted to let you know. Thanks.
Yeah, and basically the stuff that we sent into the International Court of Trade, okay, they told me that they were going to be sending my stuff back to me about 2.5 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks, and basically they have not sent it back. Well, if they haven't sent it back, all I need to do is basically write up a document and basically move that into Admiralty Court jurisdiction and come in as the president and now order them to process that, because that Court of International Trade is just as good as a district court. So they've already got my documents. All I have to do is basically come in as the president, judge, and say, make it happen.
Smooth.
See, if you got a court case right now, all you have to do is turn it over into Admiralty and then come in as the president, judge, and order the thing. You make that judge the executor to bring about the closure of that. And basically, if he doesn't execute that properly in fraud or some other means, his neck is on the chopping block. If he screws you, okay, and allows the bankers, see, you made him the executor. Now his neck is on the line too. See, that's what you want. You want his neck on the line also, on the chopping block, so that he has to bring about the proper settlement of that item. He has the bar card, the BAR, the bank authorized or broker authorized representative card in their banking system. Force their hands, and they will try and dodge the bullet at all possible. But you have to stay upon them. They wanted that office, make them uphold that office, or else they can leave the office and get a replacement in there. Which has been done in some cases, too. I mean, some of these guys have bailed out, said, I'm not touching that, I'm out of here. And they go find another job somewhere else, trying to be a fraudulent attorney somewhere.
We still want to terminate our underwritings and still, like, drive without a license and all that stuff, right?
Yes, that will be done, but you have to read the letter that I posted up there.
Okay, I'm at the passport banking right now. That's where it's at?
I don't know where Tom put the letter that I sent to him today.
It was added to the passport banking folder this afternoon. It's District Court Termination Trade Agreement.
Trade Agreement, PDF, right. Yeah, I downloaded that. I have to read it. Okay, that's the 1:17 p.m. Yeah, I see it. Okay, I'll read it.
Yeah, see, what I'm doing on that one, I'm terminating my trade agreements with the corporate state of Iowa. It's a presidential trade agreement, and you can terminate that.
Good. Yeah, it's finally, like you say, we just had to figure out what's going to work, what's going to crack the whip.
Yeah. And basically the biggest thing was to be the president judge in Admiralty, because that's in the de jure side of the government, the we the people side, the living side. Everything else is in the dead corporate world. You're the shareholder over them. start standing up as the shareholder, the owner over them. We own the corporation. The corporations don't own the shareholders.
Right, and then we can go ahead and tell the governor or somebody else to give us something that the police will leave us alone with.
Well, basically, yeah, you'll, like I've got on the document, you're going to copy, even though you're sending this into the court, you're going to copy the state attorney general or the federal attorney general.
Right. Yeah, I see it. It's called this Admiralty notice. Yeah.
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Drew here. Got a question for you. My grandmother passed away, and in her will, she signed me as the executor for her estate. So I'm wondering how to change that into executive, considering maybe she didn't know all about the difference between executive and executor.
Well, see, basically what you're dealing with in her will, she was really talking about her stuff out here in the corporate world, okay? What you're really going after is her death certificate and her inheritance that are held at the treasury, her dead citizenship, okay, her financial vessel that's back there at the treasury. But yeah, if you come in as the president judge, you can basically terminate all executor positions out there, even an attorney. You can fire them right on the spot. Because does it not say that basically the court assigns, in most cases, the executor in probate actions? The court has to authorize that. Even though that attorney is going to be the executor, he has to get an authorization from the court. Well, what court is he supposed to be getting it from? He's supposed to be getting it from you as the president judge in Admiralty. See, in this country, not only do people not know the monetary system, they don't know the judicial system, especially in Admiralty, and that's our court system. All these other court systems are for the corporate world.
Yeah,
that makes sense?
Yeah, sure does. Another thing, too, is when I went in to get the letters of testamentary before I knew this stuff, I remember the clerk saying you have to give the original will, you have to deposit the original will in order for the judge to give you letters of testamentary. And I thought that was really fishy, so I was able to keep the original and give the copy. So I still have the original, and then I got out of there before they figured it out. So
yeah, they try and get you to record, and see, that's all this stuff. When you go in and use the county recorders and everything else, okay, you're placing yourself into the corporate world, okay. When you go and get a notary public, okay, you're supposed to be by two witnesses, and normally that two witnesses was supposed to be your right and left index finger, because that's the outer extremities of your boundary of your resident, your principal residency, your body. Read what it says about a president. It says basically a guy in charge of a body. Very last word in the definition. Body. Well, that's your body. And you have your personage, different edges, whatever, in that body, okay?
Thanks.
I mean, I don't know whether you ever watched the movie Sybil, okay, back in the 60s or 70s there, about that young girl that had, about 29 or 30 different different entities, supposedly personalities within her. Well, see, that's what you do. You have different personalities.
Is that probate?
And I've been showing you a couple of my different personalities over the last couple of days. Nice, not so nice, and real asshole.
That you have, but it's been, very giving with your knowledge, and I appreciate that.
You got to have fun with this. I mean, really, you got to laugh at it. I have no problem in being called crazy or any of that other stuff. That's just one of my personalities.
Patrick?
Yeah.
How do you sign the orders as the Admiralty judge? You just sign it with your first and middle name, or?
I just sign it as Mr. Patrick Devine.
That's it.
Yeah. All
you
this
need to
name game is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It never accomplished just a damn thing, did it?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, I've thrown that all out the window.
So do we put
somebody actually has valid proof that doing it a certain way, and we've tried it every which way possible. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, that's where I stand on that. Go ahead.
I have an Admiralty claim already put into a municipal court. Basically, put them on notice and let them know that they were in violation of their oath of office, but they still are refusing to enter the judgment against themselves. So I'm thinking this document would definitely take care of it and just give my own presidential Admiralty judge decision to have them settle the matter immediately.
Well, the best thing to do is not to fight them on their grounds, okay?
Well, I can pull it. I already got a state I already got a federal docket number. I can go take it right from their court right now and take it out of there.
Yeah. I would basically try and get, you've got more funds out there at the Treasury, okay, than to sit around and try and fight something that is just going to drag you down, wear upon you, and basically frustrate you all the more, okay? Try and get all your life. Then when you do go into properly into Admiralty Court, and if that judge does not honor the item, then you can issue the warrant as a presidential judge, issue a warrant against that office holder that's doing the infraction.
Okay.
And then you would have the U.S. Marshals and everybody else on your side, and then you can bring that into the proper situation and basically order the next judge that is to be sitting in that court to basically adjudicate that, and that's what several people have done, okay? They had to have been doing this to get the remedy. I think there was an old guy up in Chicago that roughly ran about 5 or 6 federal judges out of the system.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have the facts on the record. This is a divorce case. I have the facts on the record, and I withdrew my marriage application. I also published it in the newspaper, and it's all on the record in Admiralty in that municipal court.
Okay, but you withdrew your marriage application, okay?
Right. That means they don't have jurisdiction anymore.
No. You didn't cash out that marriage insurance policy.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what I was saying earlier.
Okay.
All of these documents, the driver's license, the certificate of title, the marriage license, these are all insurance policies.
Okay.
So when you get divorced, and see, the divorce is really supposed to be handled by the husband in this thing, as he's supposed to be the principal executive officer, or the presidential judge in the court case. The wife would be a sub-judge in the court, that you are the president judge. And then you order the administrative judge to barter that marriage contract, that insurance policy, and then you can give that over to the wife and say, okay, here, go take a hike.
Okay.
Now, also, in the Old Testament, the wife did not get anything that was accrued during the estate while she was living with the husband.
Correct.
Okay? That belongs to the husband. That includes all children.
Correct.
Okay? Unless the husband is a child molester or something like that, and in that case, he better be in jail. Okay?
That's true.
So, you have to know what's going on here in the laws. They go all the way back to the Moses time, because that's the laws that are supposed to be in effect today. Okay? Like I told people, the bankruptcy court, the bankruptcy laws all come out of the book of Leviticus.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, chapter 7 is a chapter 7 out of the book of Leviticus. There was no bankruptcy action in chapter 1, 2, 3, so there's no chapter 1, 2, or 3 bankruptcies in our system. See, people never look. Well, why isn't there? See, we're supposed to ask the question, why?
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay.
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
It's Gita. I'm gonna just send in the money order, and I'm just gonna put a cover sheet saying, demanding them to, not demanding them, get me my funds. No, I just ask them to forward it to the right department if it's incorrect, and that's it. And see what happens.
I just put on the outside and sent it to the address that I have on the money order.
Yeah.
And then I put on there that this is an Admiralty, American Admiralty presidential order on the outside underneath my address. And I just folded the money order up and stuck it in an envelope, one of my prepaid envelopes, and sent it out there. I've got 9 of them out there right now.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, basically, if
I'm
it's
just
right,
going to I'll do that.
Yeah. Now, I got my money order back from the Secret Service, and they came back and said, well, basically, we're not the right people to do this. You better send it to the proper place. But they sent me a $300 penalty envelope, so basically I'm going to get $300 out of them, or out of my account, because basically it will come out of my, they're giving me access to claim that penalty, okay? If I don't claim it, they're going to get it. The corporation will. And see, that's what we have to do, is send these $300 penalty envelopes into the federal district court, and we come in Admiralty and as the president judge, and we claim those charges, those penalties, and have that administrative judge acknowledge it, and then have that clerk of the court make the payment to us. Hell, they got vaults in those damn federal courthouses, walk-in vaults, just like a bank does. They hold money there, not only the records, but they hold money in there. That's why they have so much security around the damn places. Not only because of the computers having all the financial records, but there's actual money there, like a regular bank.
Yeah, Patrick?
Yeah.
I found my father's death certificate with a Social Security number on it today. Now, I guess I could send that in with the termination.
No, you're not going to send that in, Tom, until you get your other shit done.
Okay. Do that.
Okay.
Do that later. Do that later.
Yes.
Okay.
You've got to establish yourself first before you start trying to go after your dead relatives' accounts.
Okay.
Because if you don't have your foundation established, what good is it? Okay. Because you haven't accomplished anything.
Well, I happened to talk to my sister, and she gave me that. I'll just keep collecting the information.
Yeah, just hold on to it until you get your account closed down, your citizenship, your American citizenship, back out of hock.
Right. And I'm sending off a money order tomorrow, too.
And if the company or something doesn't give you the EIN, just write EIN refused on it and send it in.
Okay.
And then basically if you still don't get the EIN later on, when you get the money order that's made payable to them, you turn around and you do VOID and you fill that out and just say in there blank, basically this asshole outfit basically refused to give me the EIN, and you send them their copy, and you send the other into the IRS. The IRS will take care of it.
Okay. Well, I did this one to my estate, so I can take the check to the bank and open an account there.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Patrick, I had experience with the federal courts a few years ago, and they claim that they've got only a few hours to turn in any money they collect to the Treasury.
Yeah, well, see, the Treasury's right there in the building, too.
Oh, okay. So they didn't give me the details, other than they claimed that they had to have only everything turned in within a few hours.
Yeah, basically, you look at what is all evolved around that federal courthouse in the district level, okay? You will find the Secret Service there. In some cases, you'll find FBI agents stationed somewhere in that area. You'll find the U.S. Marshals. You'll find a Federal Reserve Bank located within the area. And if there's a branch Federal Reserve Bank outlet there, you also have Treasury warehouse agents at that Federal Reserve Bank. Okay, so you've got a whole bunch of different things. And see, I've been to most all of those different places, and even the state banking system and the state insurance division. While everybody else was going out there to the Ag Department, I was going to these other places. The Ag Department just has the damn soil. And basically they're all screwed up in their whole damn process. But you need to go after where the money is at, okay? And it's not in the Ag Department or in their Department of Transportation. They're just utilizers of the system. Okay, any other questions?
I guess not. Anybody have more questions?
Yeah, I got one more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, it's a riddle for Patrick. What makes a wise man wise?
Knowledge?
No, it's because he asked why. A wise man is with the why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. You know.
And then obtaining the answer to the question.
That's a wise man, you know. All right, that's all. Thanks.
Now, for every Y, there's a K.
Yeah, you had something, Pat?
Yeah. Did you think they would be setting up these master accounts in about a week to 10 days?
It could be faster, okay? I just faxed my other correction for the title in, and but by us putting that title in the way we did it, it's probably going to be blowing somebody's mind in the damn process.
Okay.
But in most cases, I just did it for shits and grins, just to sort of mess with them, okay? I really don't care whether I get it or not, because I'm going to shut down the account anyway, okay?
Yeah. Well, you know, I've been one of the lucky ones with having everything go through. I mean, it's been well over a week and nothing's bounced. I mean, it's been perfect. But once I did this master account, and then I sent in the correction, I'm starting to get some things bouncing back here just today.
Well, it's not because of that, okay?
You think?
No, it's not because of that, okay? That is entirely different, okay? They're probably still sorting through that back at Kansas City. And your stuff is going through the other Federal Reserve banks, and basically they don't talk to one another in that regards. Okay? So it's nothing that's really, is basically just some cases. When we were doing the money orders about 4 years ago, okay, into the Federal Reserve banks, okay, quite a few of them went through initially. Some of them held for about 2 to 3 weeks before they turn around and shot them down.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were told the money was sitting in the local bank, but it was under a freeze until basically something was corrected.
That's what the notice I got, that they wanted a correction.
Yeah, and basically as soon as you get that confirmation with your filing with the Federal Reserve, then you can make the appropriate correction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's no big deal. I mean, shit, we haven't done anything wrong, so...
No, they just want the correction.
Yeah. And I think you had your documents into that International Court of Trade also, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically we can turn around. Have you gotten yours back from them?
No. No.
Okay.
No.
So then all we have to do is turn around and send another notice into them that we're changing the venue of this action into Admiralty, and that American Admiralty, and that we are coming in as the president judge in this action.
I need to charge her.
Yeah, and we're
Don't
assigning
complain.
the administrative judge there in that action to be the executor to handle the processing of those items.
Wonderful.
Oh, so my court package, which is almost complete, I just hang on to that and submit it at the proper time.
Yeah, but yours, you can go to the district court instead of going to the Court of International Trade.
Oh, okay.
But see, you don't have to make up that fancy of a package. You can just make a presidential judge order to them.
Yeah, item by item.
You take your certificate of live birth, you take your Social Security card. At the state level, you take your driver's license, your certificate of title. You basically crucify them and say, hey, I am terminating these trade agreements, and I want all assets that are held under these trade agreements to be returned to me.
Yeah, it can be abbreviated.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
I just can't believe that there's only one person that caught what I did on money orders.
What?
Yeah. I gave you a AAA money order, and you didn't even see it. An American Admiralty money order. Hey.
Oh.
Triple A.
Triple A money
you
order.
guys can look at things and you don't even see it. Only one guy
right.
last night saw it.
Okay. Clever.
See, you've got to broaden your view of things. Open your mind to see what is really out there, because you're missing things and you're not smelling the roses. You're walking around with a chip on your shoulder or revenge in your heart too damn much, and that's going to hold you down. You've got to love life, not hate it.
Let it be. Hey, listen, I have a question on the Appendix 1. So we need to do the Appendix 1 and put in the master account, and then we have to do the, I think, the certificate of signature card and send that in together, right, to Kansas?
Yeah. You do the Appendix 1, that is for the master file, or master routing number, okay?
That's the back of the card.
The number on the back of the card with the letter on it, okay? And so that you just put that in there, and that's for the master. So that's Appendix 1. That's Appendix 1.
You send that separately? Okay.
No.
You send that in separately?
No, you can put them all together. I sent, and then I did Appendix, or Attachment B. Attachment B. One for my estate EIN. So I filled out section on Attachment B, Section 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 4 is what ties that EIN number back to the master number, so you have to do another signature card for that one. Then you do another one. I did another one for my foreign grantor trust, and I put another signature card in for that one too, which is Section 4 on that Appendix B. So I sent 5 pages in plus the cover sheet of the facts, so a total of 6 pages into Kansas City.
Okay. I just can't find
you can do it by email or whatever, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Thomas, is the appendix, I have the appendixes 1 to 5, but I don't see Appendix A and B. Is that in the group?
Yes, I posted
the attachment.
Yes.
The attachment.
Attachment B.
Yeah, it's not an appendix. It's attachment B.
Oh, I have to look for it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's It's underneath. It's underneath. Yeah.
What do you mean
underneath the appendix.
Oh, okay.
On that same page. On that same page in the Federal Reserve forms.
Yes, it's a 6 or 7 page document, the appendices. But they're also out on the group site. Appendix 1 and Attachment B are out there separately, and that's from the Federal Reserve website.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I don't have it. All right.
All of the files begin with FRB dash.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Do you have any more questions for Patrick?
Well, if you just send in that letter, and I don't know where it is, I know you sent it when you sent out the money order to come out of the system, then you don't have to mess around with any of these forms, right? Here it is, the fax.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you need to understand the system before you really come out of the system, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, in a sense, you should play around so you get an understanding of how the system operates, okay?
Okay.
When you want to come out of the system, basically that letter that I sent to Tom today that I'm going to be submitting into my state court, district court, and giving them and basically assigning the judge to be the executor in Admiralty to bring about the settlement of those state trade agreements and their associated insurance or surety/insurance holding accounts. See, that's what they've been depriving us of, is basically the insurance side of the accounts, of the trade agreement. Okay, you get it. You have a traffic ticket. The insurance policy is supposed to pay for that traffic ticket. That's what you had the driver's license for. It was just an insurance policy, and the insurance company is supposed to pay for that. Well, basically, like most insurance companies out here, they'll try everything in the book not to pay you.
No, they just bump up the rates.
Yeah, and see, that's where you have to come in, and now you hold them accountable, and you force the judge now that he is now the executor to adjudicate that in the proper manner and to bring about the just settlement. And you're standing over him, and you will monitor whether it's a just settlement or not. If it's not, then basically his neck is on the chopping block. If he tries to work with his fellow cohorts in the corporation and give them a break, sort of like the bad servant in the parables that Jesus was talking about. The one servant basically was cutting the thing in half, depriving the master of his full payment. You need to read some of these parables that Jesus talked about, because basically this is the same scenario that's going on here. These judges basically try and deprive you of your assets. And so you catch them in that process, especially when you've assigned them to be the executor. Now you can file criminal charges against them. And that's what several people have done in the past against some of these federal judges and put them in prison. But you don't hear about a lot of those cases because they're kept underground, because they don't want you to know you can do that. Any other questions?
Patrick?
Yeah.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Earlier you were saying something about they wouldn't give you the EIN numbers. Who do we need the EIN numbers for?
Well, basically on the back of the money order, if you're making out a payment, you want to buy a new vehicle, okay, you get the car dealership, and you're going to have the treasury warehouse claim check sent to that car dealership. You make your money order out to pay for taking cargo off of your citizenship and deposit it into the treasury warehouse. That's why you're making that check out to the United States Treasury, that money order, okay? Then on the back side, it's sitting, now the funds are sitting in the warehouse. You have to have the treasury warehouseman send out a claim check or a treasury check out to who is supposed to come and claim that cargo, because it doesn't belong to the treasury. They're just holding it there for you, and you have to assign that out to, like, the car dealership. Okay. So they'll send out a treasury check to that car dealership. Now you need their EIN on the back of the money order that I have either their Social Security number or their EIN, so that for tax purposes, that can be tracked. Because basically you're taking real asset out and you're putting it out into the financial world out here in a discounted format.
Okay, and you need that for the 1099 OID too.
Yes, you're going to need that also. So you need to address that, yes, that check did go to this person or this dealership, and here's their EIN. And then later on, when you come back and do the OID, you're going to be using that same EIN to come back in to claim the discounted value, the OID. See, all this stuff is now starting to really come into play. But
okay, then. Thank you.
People are doing the OIDs with the wrong understanding out there because they never got the first step done properly. So until you do the first step, you can't take the second step.
Okay.
That's why several of them fell down and ended up in jail because they stumbled. I give you a whole bunch of analogies on all this stuff. I'm having fun with this shit now. Whether anybody listens to me, I don't know.
We're listening.
But it's really so simple. We've done all the legwork. We've talked it over. I've talked this over with several good people out there and support people that kept me going and on this whole process. And so we beat this thing to death every which way possible, proving other systems didn't work and get right back on the path that we were to go down. So that's where we are now. We're at the end. We're right at the finish line, ready to cut that ribbon.
Yeah, I can feel the climax of it. It's like the energy is building up so much. Bubble has to pop.
Yeah. I mean, everybody. I just can't believe the number of people out here that refuse to believe that they've got anything here in this country, okay? And that they're going to go and they're going to go out to Vegas or they're going to play a lotto from the Netherlands or something like that or some other place and they're going to get rich overnight or they're going to go over to a foreign country and buy up fictitious dinars or something like that out there, and they're going to basically turn those into another entity. I mean, how many people have gone over there and really understand the banking system, the dinars and everything? You're listening to a crock of bullshit, a con artist in that whole damn process. You're not going to get shit out of it. It's just like half the penny stocks out here, and I used to deal in penny stocks, buying and selling them, and in the different markets that were there, okay? I wasn't a broker or anything like that, but basically I was playing them, okay? Some of them basically had some real value. Now, Walmart, basically, if you would have bought that at a quarter and held on to it and put it totally aside, yeah, you'd be a millionaire today. Casey's, a convenience store system. The initial stock offering was a quarter. Now I think it's gone up about 3-4 times up to about $30, split and gone right back up. So, yeah, you could have made a lot of money in that. But to play a foreign currency out here that is total speculation, that is that people's currency. Don't mess with their right of inheritance. You've got your own inheritance right here in this country. This country is the richest country in the world, or nation in the world. We have more oil. We have more mineral. We have the richest coal fields in the world. We've got so much asset value here in this nation. And we, the people, are the owner of it. Okay? The corporations only may control a building above the ground. Everything below the ground belongs to the nation, belongs to the people. When you understand how the system operates, because anything below the ground has to support what's above the ground. That is one of the oldest maxims of law out there. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Tom, it's about the 2-hour mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're at the 2-hour mark. Good calls. Thank you, Patrick.
Okay.
I think we summarized a lot of things. I'll turn off the
just
record.
Keep the stuff going in. Just keep the pressure on them.
Yes.
Okay? The money orders are not that hard, okay? Especially these ones going to the treasury.
Yeah.
And like I told you, I tried to explain how to send them in for free.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, talk to you later.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you.